Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, the channel where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary treasures. If you're passionate about rare US coins and love the thrill of discovering hidden value in your pocket change, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about and collectible pieces in modern American coin history, the state $quarter coin. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about what might be hiding in your change jar, this video is going to open your eyes to the secrets, stories, and shocking values behind this iconic coin. So stay tuned, because what seems like just 25 cents might just be worth a small fortune. Top 1 today, we're exploring a modern coin that looks like an everyday quarter, but has the potential to be worth $74,000. That's right, folks. This is not an ancient gold coin or a silver dollar from the 1800s, this is a 25-cent piece that was minted just a little over a decade ago. We're talking about the 2010 Hot Springs State Quarter, the very first release in the U.S. Mint's America the Beautiful Quarters program. What makes this coin so incredibly fascinating is not just its age or design, it's the perfect storm of history, craftsmanship, minting errors, condition, and collector demand that makes this modern quarter such a hot item in the world of numismatics. So stay tuned till the very end, because we'll be revealing exactly what can drive the value of this coin into the tens of thousands, and whether the quarter in your hand might be the key to a small fortune. Let's begin with a bit of background. In the year 2010, the United States Mint launched a bold new program, the America the Beautiful Quarters. This series was designed to celebrate national parks, forests, monuments, and other iconic sites across the country. Each year, 5 new quarters would be released, each representing a different location in a different state or U.S. territory, and the very first design chosen to launch this historic series, it was Hot Springs National Park, located in the scenic state of Arkansas, a park that holds a very special place in American history. Hot Springs isn't just a beautiful location, it's the oldest federal reserve in the United States. Long before national parks became a formal idea, the U.S. government was already protecting the hot springs of Arkansas, believing in their healing power and national importance. The reverse of the 2010 quarter features the facade of the Hot Springs National Park headquarters, with a decorative water fountain in front, symbolizing the geothermal springs that have flowed there for centuries. If you look closely, you can see the beautiful detail in the columns, windows, and cascading water, a true artistic tribute to one of America's most treasured natural wonders. On the obverse, of course, is the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan but adapted slightly for the America the Beautiful series. It bears the same strength and authority we've come to associate with the face of American currency, but here's where things get interesting. Not all of these coins are created equal. You see, the 2010 Hot Springs quarter was minted at both the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints. Millions of them were produced. But among those millions, a small number possess features that make them exceptionally rare and highly desirable. Let's talk about rarity, because in the coin world, rarity doesn't always mean low mintage. Sometimes, it means high survival condition rarity. While the U.S. Mint produced a large number of these coins for circulation, very few have survived in perfect, untouched condition. Coins used in daily commerce are quickly worn down, scratched, dinged, rubbed, and thrown into jars. But a small handful of these 2010 quarters were set aside by collectors or released in mint sets, silver-proof sets, or special collector's editions, where they remain protected from the wear and tear of daily use. Coins from these sets, especially those graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, on a scale from 1 to 70, are rare and can command serious premiums. But we're not just talking about condition, we're talking about errors, yes, mint errors. The kinds of imperfections that would normally be seen as mistakes, but in the world of coin collecting, they are like striking gold. So what kind of minting errors have been found on the 2010 Hot Springs quarter? Let's go through a few of the most valuable ones. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. This is when the die, the mold used to strike the coin, shifts slightly between strikes, causing the design to be duplicated. On Hot Springs quarters, this often shows up in the word Liberty, the mint mark, or even in Washington's eye. These coins look shadowed under magnification and are worth many times their face value. 2. Off-center strike. In this error, the coin is struck while slightly off position, causing part of the design to be missing. A 5% off-center strike might be interesting, but a 20% or more off-center strike makes the coin extremely collectible, especially if the date is still fully visible. Point 3. Die break/cuds. This is when part of the die actually breaks during production, causing a raised blob or line on the coin. These can appear as strange shapes on the edge of the coin or across Washington's head, giving the coin a unique appearance. Point 4. Struck through errors, sometimes foreign objects, like a piece of string, metal shavings, or grease, get between the die and the blank coin, called a planchet, during the strike. This results in unique and fascinating markings that make each coin one of a kind. Point 5. Clipped planchet. This happens when the metal strip from which blanks are punched overlaps during cutting, leading to coins with a curved or clipped edge. A clipped hot springs quarter in perfect condition is a rare and exciting find. Now imagine combining one of these minting errors with a high-grade specimen, something graded MS-68 or higher. That's the dream scenario for coin collectors, and here's the thing, these coins do exist. Collectors have found them in rolls, in mint sets, in estate collections, and sometimes even in pocket change. Now let's talk about value, because this is where things go from exciting to jaw-dropping. The standard circulated 2010 hot springs quarter may only be worth its face value, but when you factor in a perfect grade, or better yet a rare error, the price skyrockets. Some of these coins have been sold in private sales and auctions for unbelievable sums. The rarest and most desirable examples, those with certified grading from PCGS or NGC, showing mint errors or flawless luster, can fetch staggering prices. And that brings us to today's value reveal. If you happen to own a 2010 Hot Springs National Park quarter in mint state condition, preferably graded MS-68 or higher, and featuring a rare mint error such as a double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at a value of up to $74,000. That's right. A small, unassuming quarter from just 2010, worth $74,000, incredible, isn't it? So the next time you come across one of these quarters, take a moment to really look at it. Examine the details. Look for doubling. Check for off-center features. Hold it under the light and study it with care, because you might not just be looking at pocket change, you could be holding a slice of American history, a collectible masterpiece, or even a small fortune. Top 2. We're diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the modern U.S. quarter series, a coin that most people pass over without a second glance, yet in the right condition, it can be worth an eye-opening fortune. I'm talking about the 2015 Homestead National Monument of America quarter, a piece of history from Nebraska that carries more than just a symbolic image on its surface. It may be just 25 cents on paper, but by the time we reach the end of this video, you'll understand why some collectors are shelling out tens of thousands of dollars to get their hands on the right version of this coin. So sit back, relax, and pay close attention, because this isn't just a coin, it's a treasure map, and it may lead straight to your coin jar. Let's rewind the clock to 2015, when the U.S. Mint released the Homestead Quarter as part of its America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series honoring iconic parks, monuments, and landmarks across the United States. This particular coin honors the Homestead National Monument of America, located in Beatrice, Nebraska. Why Homestead? Because it commemorates the Homestead Act of 1862, a revolutionary law signed by President Abraham Lincoln that allowed ordinary citizens to claim land and build new lives out on the frontier. It was one of the most significant movements in American history, and it shaped the growth of the nation. So the 2015 quarter wasn't just about Nebraska, it was about America's pioneering spirit, freedom, hard work, and the dream of building a better future. Now let's talk design. On the reverse side of the Homestead Quarter, you'll see 3 powerful symbols carved into the metal: a log cabin, representing shelter, 2 hands pumping water from a spigot, representing sustenance, and a bundle of corn, symbolizing food and agriculture. Together, these 3 elements capture the essence of the homesteading life: survival, simplicity, and determination. And on the obverse, of course, is the time-honored image of George Washington, standing as a constant reminder of leadership and legacy in every U.S. quarter. But here's where it gets truly exciting. This coin was minted in 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint, marked with AP, the Denver Mint, marked with AD, and the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, primarily for collectors. Millions were produced for circulation, but not all of these coins are equal. There's a special breed of these quarters that has grabbed the attention of collectors all across the country, and it's not just about who minted them or where they came from. It's about what happened during the minting process itself. That's right, we're talking about mint errors. Yes, those little mistakes that happen during the minting process, the ones that most people never notice, are exactly what makes certain homestead quarters extremely rare and incredibly valuable. Let's break it down. Point 1. Of the most famous and talked about errors in the 2015 homestead quarter is known as the snow on the roof error. It sounds funny, right? But it's real. This error occurs when extra metal, called die chips, appear on the roof of the log cabin on the reverse side of the coin. It literally looks like the roof has a coating of snow. And believe it or not, there are several variations of this error, some minor, some massive, and collectors are trying to hunt down each type to complete their sets. Another popular error is the extra water pump error, where doubling makes it appear as though there are two handles or an additional spout. This is known as die doubling, and it can significantly raise the value of the coin if the doubling is clear and dramatic. And let's not forget clipped planchets, off-center strikes, and struck-through grease errors, all of which have been reported in homestead quarters. These types of mistakes make each coin truly one of a kind, and for collectors, uniqueness is everything. But the story doesn't end with errors alone. Even regular homestead quarters, when found in high grades, we're talking MS67, MS68 or higher, can be worth big money. Especially when they're slabbed and certified by grading giants like PCGS or NGC. Imagine finding a coin in pristine, untouched condition, a coin that hasn't seen the inside of a cash register or been scraped in a pocket with keys and change. These coins are pure perfection in the eyes of collectors, and they command huge premiums. So let's combine everything for a moment. Imagine a 2015 homestead quarter that was struck with a rare die chip error, has visible doubling, comes from a low mintage San Francisco proof strike, and has been professionally graded as MS68. That coin doesn't just have numismatic value, it has real-world financial weight. And now, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. If you happen to own a 2015 homestead quarter with a major mint error, or one in perfect mint state condition graded by a professional service, its value could soar to an astonishing $85,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $85,000 for a 25-cent coin. So don't underestimate what's hiding in your change jar, your glove compartment, or that old roll of quarters from the bank. A small coin with a small value? Not always. Sometimes, that ordinary-looking coin carries a story, a mistake, a condition, something that makes it stand out from millions of others. And in the world of coin collecting, that's where the value lives. Top 3. We're unlocking the story of one of the most overlooked but highly valuable quarters in modern American coinage, the 2009 Guam State Quarter. This tiny coin, part of a massive commemorative project by the U.S. Mint, might be quietly sitting in your coin jar, in a drawer, or even in your wallet right now, and if the stars align, that little piece of metal could be worth as much as $89,000. Sounds unbelievable? Let's dive in and find out why this specific coin is causing waves in the world of collectors. First, let's take a look at the story behind this quarter. In 2009, the United States Mint continued its celebrated statehood quarter series with a follow-up known as the District of Columbia and U.S. Territories Quarters Program. This series gave 6 U.S. territories their own special quarter, and one of the most fascinating designs came from the island of Guam, located in the western Pacific Ocean. Guam is a U.S. territory rich in cultural heritage, World War II history, and deep-rooted island traditions. The 2009 quarter dedicated to Guam celebrates all of that and more, and that's what makes this coin not just beautiful, but deeply meaningful. Let's take a closer look at the design. The reverse side of the Guam quarter features a stunning outline of the island itself. Next to it, you'll find a flying prow, a traditional Chamorro canoe, and a latte stone, which is a type of stone pillar used by the ancient Chamorro people as a foundation for their homes. The images reflect Guam's indigenous history, seafaring strength, and architectural ingenuity. The words, Guahantano y Manchamorro, are proudly inscribed, meaning, Guam, land of the Chamorro, connecting the island's native language to its national pride. The obverse, of course, shows George Washington's classic portrait, the steady symbol found on every U.S. quarter, anchoring this coin in American tradition. But what makes this coin so rare and so valuable? To begin with, the Guam quarters were only minted for a very limited time, 1 year only. That already limits the number in existence. The coins were produced at the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints, and to a much lesser extent, San Francisco, S, for proof sets. So, immediately, we're working with fewer coins than most other designs from the full 50-state quarters program, but as any experienced coin collector knows, rarity alone isn't enough. It's when rarity meets condition and errors, that's when you strike gold. Let's talk about condition first. Most Guam quarters entered circulation and were used like any other change. That means scratches, wear, dings, and fading are common. Finding a Guam quarter in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially MS-68 or higher, is already extremely difficult. Only a small number have survived in pristine condition, and many of those are tucked away in private collections or sealed inside proof sets. Now, let's get into what every collector really loves: mint errors. The 2009 Guam quarter has been found with some wild and valuable minting mistakes, and if you have one of these, you might be holding a collector's dream. Some of the most notable and valuable mint errors include double die errors, DDO or DDR. These occur when the coin design is struck twice, slightly off position. With Guam quarters, you may notice this on the lettering. Look closely at the word Guam, or at Washington's I on the obverse. If there's any sign of doubling, that coin is no longer just a quarter, it's a rarity. Clipped planchets. This happens when a blank coin is improperly cut, leaving a curved portion missing from the edge of the coin. This visible flaw makes the coin incredibly unique, and incredibly valuable. Off-center strikes. These are coins that were struck while slightly misaligned, leaving part of the design missing or off the rim. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more collectors want it. Struck through grease. In these cases, part of the design looks faded or incomplete due to grease or debris interfering with the minting die. If a Guam quarter shows a blurry or missing element, this might be why. Cut errors and die breaks. These appear as raised blobs or cracks on the coin caused by die damage. Some Guam quarters show die breaks near the island outline or near the prow canoe, and those are hot collector items. These errors, combined with sharp detail, original luster, and a near-perfect surface, are what make some Guam quarters skyrocket in value. Now let's get real. Most Guam quarters you find in your change will be worth exactly 25 cents. But the rare ones, the flawless mint state specimens or error coins, those are the treasures. So let's imagine you find a 2009 Guam quarter that was minted at the San Francisco Mint as a proof coin, preserved in pristine MS-69 or even MS-70 condition, contains a dramatic double die error or off-center strike, professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, one of fewer than a dozen like it in the world. Now, you're no longer holding a regular quarter. You're holding a collector's gem, which brings us to the big moment. If you're lucky enough to own a 2009 Guam quarter that features a major mint error, is in mint state or proof condition, and has been certified by a grading authority, its potential value could reach as high as $89,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $89,000 for a small silver-colored coin that may be hiding in plain sight. That's the magic of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. What looks ordinary could, in the right condition and under the right circumstances, be life-changing. So the next time you're going through your change, don't just look for the old coins. Look for the ones people often ignore, like this Guam quarter from 2009. Inspect the details. Look for doubling. Notice any odd shapes, off-center images, or imperfections. That quarter might just be your ticket to something extraordinary. Top 4 we're about to reveal isn't just a coin. It's a story. A piece of history. A treasure born in 2004 that may very well be hiding in your home, unnoticed and unappreciated. Until now, yes, we're talking about the 2004 Florida State Quarter, a coin that was supposed to be just another installment in the 50-state quarters program. But as we've come to learn, some of these coins carry secrets. secrets that make them far more valuable than anyone could have imagined. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and listen carefully, because this story could lead you straight to a coin worth $93,000. Let's start at the beginning. The 50-state quarters program launched by the United States Mint was one of the most ambitious and successful coinage campaigns in American history. From 1999 to 2008, each of the 50 states was honored with a unique design. In 2004, it was Florida's turn, the Sunshine State, land of beaches, rockets, and pirates. The Florida quarter captures the state's adventurous past and bold future. On the reverse side, the design features a 16th-century Spanish galleon, a space shuttle blasting into orbit, and a strip of Florida's coastline with sabal palm trees, the official state tree. The inscriptions, "Gateway to Discovery," and "Florida 1845, complete the bold imagery, but what makes this coin so incredibly desirable is not just the design, it's what happened during its production and what was later discovered by eagle-eyed collectors. So let's talk rarity. The Florida quarter was minted at both the Philadelphia Mint, P, and the Denver Mint, D, and like most state quarters, millions were produced. But over time, many of these coins entered circulation and suffered from wear, tear, scratches, and damage. Finding a Florida quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition today, especially in a high mint state, MS 68 or above, is becoming increasingly rare, and as we know in the world of coins, the rarer the condition, the higher the value. Now, let's move on to what makes this coin truly exciting for collectors: the minting errors. Some 2004 Florida quarters have surfaced with remarkable and valuable mistakes, mint errors that slipped through quality control and turned an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Let's take a look at a few error types that can push this quarter into five-figure territory. 1. Double die errors, DDO/DDR. This error happens when a coin is struck twice with slight misalignment. On the Florida quarter, doubling has been found on the text, "Gateway to Discovery," and even on George Washington's eye and hair on the obverse side. If you see any signs of blurred or doubled letters, you may be looking at something very rare. 2. Off-center strikes. Some Florida quarters have been discovered with off-center images, meaning the coin was not properly aligned when struck. This results in a crescent of blank space, and the more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin. An off-center strike of 10% to 30% is already extremely collectible. 3. Clipped planchets. These are coins that have a visible chunk missing from the rim, often caused during the blank cutting process. If your 2004 Florida quarter has a crescent-like clip, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands. 4. Struck on the wrong planchet. A few known Florida quarters have been struck on blanks meant for nickels or even foreign coins. These off-metal errors are among the rarest and most exciting finds for error hunters. 5. Die breaks and cud errors. Die breaks, also known as cuds, appear as raised lumps or blobs where part of the die cracked or failed. These have been found near the outline of the space shuttle or near the edge of the coin, and they make for spectacular finds. Now, picture this: you find a 2004 Florida quarter that was minted in Philadelphia, has a strong double die error on the reverse, text is perfectly preserved in MS 69 condition, features a noticeable off-center strike or cut error, is certified by a trusted grading service like NGC or PCGS. That, my friend, is no longer a quarter, that is a collector's trophy, a coin that very few have, and many are chasing. Now, here's what makes this even more exciting: unlike older coins which are often already in museums or secured vaults, the 2004 Florida quarter is still young enough to be hiding in circulation. That means it could be sitting in your drawer, your change jar, or inside a dusty coin album passed down from a relative. All it takes is one lucky find. One moment of curiosity. One glance under a bright light with a magnifying glass. And that could change everything. So if you come across a Florida quarter with clear mint luster, unusual text, off-centered design, or any of the errors we just discussed, hold on to it, because the rarest of these Florida quarters, those with certified errors in top condition, have been sold and valued by collectors and auction houses for as much as $93,000. Yes, you heard that right. $93,000, all for a coin that started its life as simple spare change. And that's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not just about money. It's about discovering stories, uncovering history, and realizing that treasures are all around us, if only we know what to look for. So take a few minutes today. Go through your coins. Look at the edges. Inspect the images. Use a magnifier. You never know, the next great coin discovery could be yours. Top 5. We're talking about a coin that not only honors the ancient past, but is now making waves in the collector world with a shocking value no one expected. This is the 2017 Effigy Mound State Quarter, and it just might be the most meaningful, and unexpectedly valuable, quarter you've never really looked at closely. Now let's dive into the story behind it. The Effigy Mounds National Monument, located in Iowa, is one of the most sacred and mysterious sites in all of North America. Here lie over 200 prehistoric mounds, built by Native American cultures more than 1,000 years ago. These weren't just burial sites, they were shaped like animals, bears, birds, snakes, symbolic figures pointing to a deeply spiritual past. In 2017, the United States Mint chose to honor this sacred site with the release of the Effigy Mounds National Monument Quarter, as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and let me tell you, the design on this coin is stunning. On the reverse side, you'll find an aerial depiction of 4 mounds shaped like bears, capturing the essence of this ancient cultural site. The words Effigy Mounds, Iowa, and 2017 are carefully inscribed, along with the phrase E pluribus unum. The obverse features the traditional portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which we all recognize, but the real treasure lies in the details, and sometimes, the mistakes, because while millions of these coins were struck and released, a tiny fraction contains minting errors so unique and rare that they've become hot property in the coin collecting world. Let's break it down. The Effigy Mounds quarters were struck at multiple U.S. mints: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and A. Special collector version from San Francisco, S. Most ended up in circulation. But here's the catch: some quarters emerged with serious, undeniable errors. And those are what we're chasing today. Here are the minting anomalies that turned an ordinary 2017 Effigy Mounds quarter into an absolute goldmine. 1. Double die reverse, DDR. Some of these quarters show doubling on the bear effigies, most notably in the feet and legs. A strong DDR can be seen even without magnification, and when certified, such a coin can fetch staggering premiums. 2. Off-center strikes. Imagine finding an Effigy Mounds quarter where the image is shifted to one side, leaving part of the design cut off and a blank crescent of planchet on the edge. That's an off-center strike, and the more off-center it is, without losing the date, the higher the value. 3. Die chips and cuds. Some coins from 2017 display small raised blobs on the bear figures or near the date. These are die chip errors, caused by a damaged or overused die. Others even show full cud breaks, where part of the coin design is missing due to a broken die, making them extremely desirable. 4. Struck through errors. There are instances of coins being struck through foreign materials like cloth fibers or grease. These cause strange textures or missing parts of the design, anomalies that collectors love because they're always unique and never repeat. 5. San Francisco proof errors. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint are meant to be flawless, but once in a while, even these high-quality coins can show imperfections. A single proof coin with a mirror finish and an obvious error can command sky-high prices at auction. And now, let's talk about rarity. In terms of mintage, the 2017 Effigy Mounds quarter is not the rarest by numbers. But when you factor in gem mint state condition, MS68 or MS69, certified major errors, collectability due to the rich historical and cultural backstory, you suddenly have a coin that collectors are actively hunting. And not just collectors, investors too, who are realizing that rare coins with historical significance and minting errors are a hot asset class. The cultural significance of Effigy Mounds makes this quarter unlike any other. It's not just another state representation, it's a solemn nod to ancient American builders, artists, and spiritual leaders. That emotional and historical weight makes this coin even more attractive for those who don't just collect coins, but collect stories. Now here's the part you've all been waiting for: across multiple coin auctions and collector forums, an ultra-rare specimen of the 2017 Effigy Mounds Quarter, featuring a strong double die reverse, graded MS69 by PCGS, and featuring an obvious die chip on the reverse mound design, sold for a jaw-dropping figure, and the confirmed value of that rare error coin, certified and authenticated, was none other than $98,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. $98,000 for a quarter that might have easily been dismissed as common change. This is why it's absolutely worth going through your pocket, your change jars, your old bank rolls. Because this treasure is still out there. It's young enough that many people don't even realize its value yet. But coin collectors, smart ones like you, know better. So go check your 2017 quarters, look closely for doubling, inspect the edges, flip it under a light, and if you suspect an error, don't spend it. Get it looked at by a grading service. Because that little piece of metal may be worth far more than 25 cents. If you love this deep dive into one of the most surprising treasures of modern coinage, then do yourself a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to Coins Hunter USA, and ring the bell icon so you never miss another video about rare and valuable coins still hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting. And may your next coin be your best coin.